what's up, man? It's your boy Derek Branch here of strike7sports.com. This episode of the Strike 7 Sports podcast, we're going to talk about a few things. It's pretty much going to be a basketball-related podcast tonight, basketball-related episode. As we talk about the small markets rise in the NBA, small markets in the NBA finally getting a break, getting into the playoffs, finally getting a chance to see new players, new stars, teams, guys figure it out on the fly in regards to leading their teams to a potential NBA Finals appearance or NBA championship. We're also going to talk about the rumor mill that has been flying around the NBA lately. Started Friday, and it just pretty much picking up steam. Draw today. Today is Sunday. Still Sunday is it'll be midnight, but today is Sunday, June 27th, 2021. And we're just gonna talk about the rumors that came down the pipeline today in regards to a few big names in the NBA. But first, man, we're gonna get into like we talked about today is that when I first brought up today is that the small markets, man. Shouts out to all the teams that are playing in these mid to small markets in the league right now. Phoenix, Milwaukee, Atlanta. Even though Atlanta should be considered a large market, a large market, you know, given its size and the resources and all. But Atlanta has not been a place where a destination, a place where free agents want to go. I'm going to elaborate on that and how that can change going forward. Also, we got the Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah, Milwaukee Bucks, Utah Jazz. You know, they made a little run. Their Denver Nuggets, you know, trying to do something, but you know they all, you know, congratulations to them. You know, dated back to last season. You know, these teams, you know, were built primarily through the draft. They didn't, you know, and made a few trades here and there and got it to work for the most part for right now. You know, Damon, you know, we got. Oh, I'm going to bring that up, talk about that later in the week, later in the podcast. But you got Milwaukee, who's playing in a series against the Atlanta Hawks, a team that I didn't expect to be where they are right now. They're into the Eastern Conference Finals, and they have opportunity to go to the NBA Finals. You know, they lost tonight, though. They lost. Chris Middleton just went off on them with 38 points on Atlanta. But that's beyond the point, though. Just, you know, you gotta congratulate the efforts. You know, they made a move midway through the season, middle of the season, to move on from what's his name, man? I think it's Lloyd Peterson, if I'm not mistaken, who was the head coach of the Hawks at the time. Hired Nate McMillan, who was let go by Indiana last year, and Indiana's looking for a coach again because they fired the guy who they had. They fired the guy who they replaced Nate McMillan with. So that's interesting. But shouts out to the Atlanta Hawks, man. They drafted a player, Trae Young, and they building around it. You know, they're very patient with it. They made moves. They made a decision to move on from a head coach that they felt like wasn't getting the best out of the players. And they got a guy that the players believe in. The players that has reached the players, and they've got better defensively. A good 3-point shooting team. You gotta have shooters in today's NBA. And we just gotta see how the series are gonna play out with Milwaukee, because they're all giving Milwaukee a good game, a good a good run for their money a good run for their money today throughout the series. Tonight they just ran to Chris Middleton tonight. A buzz on him, 38 points. But anyways, man, Atlanta's doing great, man. That's an example of how, you know, a small market team could thrive in the league. You know. Milwaukee is another example. You know, you got you drafted Giannis. I think Milton came over in a trade, but at the time got him surrounded. They made a decision. They made a decision to trade for Drew Holiday from the Pelicans, and they're in a position that we expect them to be in. Dating back to last season, they had the best record in the league last year, but it got pushed out, got kicked out of, eliminated from the playoffs by a red hot, Miami Heat team. And this year they're back. They're the third seed, I believe. Yeah, the third seed. They swept Miami this year. They beat Brooklyn. Took advantage of Brooklyn's injuries. That was a close series, but they were there in it. They drafted the player. They got Giannis. Brought Milton over when he was still young in his career. And they developed him to being who he is right now. Even though he can be streaky at some points, in certain games. And they have Drew Holiday, and he got a couple of veterans around him. You got Bobby Portis. You got Brooke Lopez, got the guy, the role player, Kenneton, I believe his name is. So it's a good team. It's a good team, and Phoenix is the same. You draft Devin Booker. Booker was having some great years, some great games in Phoenix, scoring 70 points in one game I think a few years ago. But they still had one of the worst records in the league. You hire Monty Williams. You add a couple guys here and there, a couple veterans there, here and there, and then you bring Chris Paul in, the equalizer. And that's what you have right now. You got the Phoenix Suns. They're one of the best teams in the NBA right now. They took down the Lakers. They swept Denver. So it's possible, man. You just have to have the players to buy in, man. The difference between small market and big market teams is that the margin for error for a small market team is slim to none, because you can draft the star, you can draft the next transcendent player, the next, great star in the league, but if you don't draft the other pieces around him, the pieces that around him don't fit, or they don't respect the head coach, it's just not going to work. Plain and simple. Look at you pretty much, the big market teams have the resources to mess things up for a few years, and they can quickly build it up, and that would a 1 year of turning things around could erase all those faults, the previous faults. Just look at the example, the Lakers. What were the Lakers before they pick up LeBron James? They pick up Anthony Davis. What were they? Caruso. What were they doing? They weren't doing anything. It just, within 1 year, the fortunes of that team change. Just like that. Also because they have the resources, they're the big market, they have the money, they can do things, they can move assets and get better quickly compared to a small market team. Same with the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets had they weren't doing anything, until they had the cap space. They're in the big market. They had a cap space to sign two max free agents, and then he did that. They got Kevin Durant and they got Kyrie Irving, and also they had Spencer Dinwiddie. They had Kyrie LeVert, but they traded him, and then they got added James Harden to the mix. Hold on real quick. Let me get some water. They went ahead and added James Harden to the mix. You know what I'm saying? And they are what they are. And this with the Knicks. The Knicks could be players in the free agent market again as well. And that's after a 1 year turnaround. They haven't been in the playoffs in years. And just like that, one good year of good basketball, going to the postseason, even though they got bounced in the first round, 4-1 by the Atlanta Hawks. The Knicks are relevant again. The Knicks are could be a player in the free agency again. You know, just got to depend. Got to see what they do. Just looking forward to seeing what they do going forward. But a small market team can't do all that stuff, man. They have to build through the draft, and that talent they build through the draft around the superstar has to fit. They have to all be in. They have to buy in. They have to fit, and have and agree on the common goal. I'm not saying that they're gonna have any problems or anything like that, but they have to fit. You know, I will point it back to example of this would be the Golden State Warriors model, the way they were built outside of Kevin Durant. They drafted Steph Curry. They drafted Klay Thompson. They also had Harrison Barnes to the mix, and those guys were growing under Mark Jackson. Slowly, they were getting to the playoffs, but they were going out in the first round. You know, they moved on from Mark Jackson, and I believe Steve Kerr came to the Warriors in his first year, and they won a championship, I believe. And from that point forward, it's just been players in free agency, and with being a mainstay in the Western Conference, and then outside of last year when they're just completely depleted by injuries, they have been a player in the Western Conference. They got Steph, Klay. I didn't think Steph Curry would turn out to be the Steph Curry we know now, but they got Steph Curry, two-time MVP. You got Klay Thompson, Draymond Green. All of them guys, they fit. They got in sync with each other, and they are where they are right now. When they're healthy, they're a very tough team to beat. Steph, Klay, Andre Iguodala. They brought him in. They brought it. And Kevin Durant was pretty much the icing on the cake. You had Sean Livingston came over. Gosh, I can't think of the other guy's name, but they had some good role players as well. Kevon Looney. So at Golden State, it's considered a large market, if I'm not mistaken. It's not on the level of a LA and all, but it's a tech, it's a tech, pretty much in the tech capital of the United States. So they have resources as well, and that's what they are right now, and a small market team, they have hope. There's hope to build a winner for small market teams. You just have to draft the talent. You have to utilize the draft wisely, build around it, get the guys to come in sync, have a head coach that they're going to respect and that they can relate to, and then have some success in the playoffs. Have some success getting to the playoffs, and then free agents and other assets. Other assets will come after that. But that's hope, man. I just hope that my team, the Pelicans, can take that route, the Golden State Warriors route, and build a winner. But anyways, man, I'm gonna go to a quick break, talk some ads, and we're gonna discuss our next topic. Okay. Support the Strike 7 Sports platform's growth by heading over to Fanatics and purchasing officially licensed gear from the National Football League, National Basketball Association, and much more. Each purchase made through the link listed goes into the funding of the Strike 7 Sports brand. To proceed, click on the link strike7sports.com/fanatics. That's strike7sports.com/fanatics. Thank you. Alright, we're back. And my next topic today is the situation that's taking fold with the Portland Trail Blazers and their head coach process and their star player Damian Lillard. So, as many of you may have not heard by now, Damian Lillard has been eliminated from the playoffs once again with his team, the Portland Trail Blazers. And there has been numerous discussions talking about he could be possibly traded to another team, to a contender, a team that's capable of making a deep run. So teams that have been coming up has been the Lakers, the Clippers, the Knicks, so many other teams, much more. So what I got here, an article, a report by Chris Haynes from Yahoo Sports, and he's a very strong source in the NBA. Knows a lot of what's going on in the league in regards to rumors, trade rumors, free agent moves, all that. But here's an article right here. I'm going to read it. Sources: coaching process, inability to build tighter contending roster may push Damian Lillard out of Portland. The enormous backlash from the Portland Trail Blazers process to hire a new coach and his concerns over whether a championship contender can be built have become factors that may push the franchise player Damian Lillard out the door. League sources told Yahoo Sports. Lillard has remained loyal to Portland in large part due to tremendous fan base, due to the tremendous fan base. But over the last few days, he has seen some of those fans attacking him on social media for pending coaching hire he played no part in consummating, sources said. Portland is currently in negotiations to make Los Angeles Clippers assistant coach Chauncey Billups its next head coach. The coaching search was conducted by Neil Osei, the team's president of basketball operations. None of the candidates who were interviewed were from suggestions from Lillard, sources said. Although the All-NBA guard has a relationship with Billups as a head coach, announcer, and former player, he had no prior knowledge of the past sexual assault allegations against him from 1997. The Trailblazers announced Billups as the next coach on Sunday night. All right, so man, that's just in a nutshell. Chauncey Billups is going to be the new head coach, and man, I didn't even know about Chauncey Billups and his sexual assault allegations in 1997. This is my first time hearing about this. I'm going to look more into it. But when do we, as a society, can forgive people for past transgressions? Or I don't know what was the outcome of these allegations. God, look deep more into this. But when are we going to forgive people? You know what I mean? It's funny how Ben Roethlisberger can suit up and play every day for a franchise that is considered to be first class, historic, most respected in the league in the Pittsburgh Steelers, and no one ever brings up his sexual assault charges, his rape allegations. Nobody. Rachel Nichols they had a piece talking about how the Mavericks shouldn't have pursued Jason Kidd to become the next head coach, given with all his baggage and what has occurred within the Mavericks organization in regards to sexual assault, sexual harassment. But I just never hear a lot of these women on these networks bring up what Ben Roethlisberger did, what he was accused of. Nobody talks about that. Nobody. And it's just the hypocrisy of the media, man, of mainstream media. I usually don't cross off into this, but I'm gonna have to talk about this, man. And just why has this never happened? Ben Roethlisberger can go skates free, play football, and nobody ever brings up or question what he did, or asks him a question about what he did in the past, about those allegations. But in regards to Damian Lillard, man, I said this a few weeks ago when they were eliminated from the postseason. I was just saying it may be time for Lillard to move on, man. If he's done everything that he could to carry that franchise, carry it to the playoffs, and they don't have the pieces around him are unreliable. They're good pieces, they're good players, but they're unreliable in certain situations. And that has caused the Blazers a lot of times. They got swept one time. I think they were the 3rd seed in the West, and the Pelicans were the 6th seed back when they had Anthony Davis. And the Pelicans just swept them. The following year, they made it to the Western Conference Finals, but they got swept by Golden State, and Golden State didn't have Kevin Durant at the time because of that injury suffered against Houston. They held him out. They got swept by them. So it's just, he's done everything, and it could be time for him to move on. A lot of these people on social media, upset about the hire. They didn't like the hire of Chauncey Billups. They bring up things that happened in the past. They'll probably never even look into what he did, and they're not going by any research, and they're just blowing off. They're just blowing it off, and they're upset about the hire, and now they're attacking the star player. So have fun, They had issues attracting free agents to come up there now. You can have fun with that now. Have fun with that in regards to bringing them up there right now. It's gonna be if they move on from that, it's time for them to blow that thing completely up and get ready to be picking in the lottery selections in the draft. Cause that's gonna be one of the most unattractive destinations in the NBA. Real talk. So, what else we got here? Alright, so on the next it's still the topic is still gonna be about Damian Lillard. And something that came across my timeline on Twitter was about Damian Lillard. And it was about a trade that can occur between Damian Lillard, the Portland Trail Blazers, Damian Lillard, and the New Orleans Pelicans. So I have the tweet by Brandon Scoop B. Robinson of Bally Sports. He was once a contributor, a writer at an NBA writer at Heavy.com. Now he's over at Bally Sports, and he is a very respectable content creator, respectable NBA insider on a lot of subjects. So Brandon tweets out, the New Orleans Pelicans are willing to part ways with Brandon Ingram in hopes of getting Damian Lillard. I am told Pels are willing to part ways with multiple first-round picks that they acquired in Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday deals. End of the tweet. All right, so with that being said, those, you know, I would like to know, as a Pelicans fan, a follower of the Pelicans, I would love to have Damian Lillard on this team with Zion Williamson. But I would like to know who's the head coach, man. Who's the head coach that's going to get Zion, Dame to buy into his philosophy and get this team on the right path to winning? You know, because this team, the Pelicans have had so many great players that they could have won a championship by now. They could have been a player in the Western Conference by now. You know, so many great players. Dating back to Chris Paul, Drew Holiday, Anthony Davis. Now we got Zion Williamson. At the time, we had David West. David West was a pretty good player, man, with the Pelicans. Good power forward. David West. We've had so many great players, man. And Damian Lillard coming here with this change a lot of things for this team. With, I don't know who else would they, I mean, there's a good core around Zion. There's a good core around him as far as young players go. And they have Carol Lewis. You got Alexander Walker. You got Jackson Hayes, who's going to be a great up and coming player in this league. Great players, man, around a young core around him. And I think if you get those guys to buy in, Zion to buy in, Damian Lillard on the vision, I think the Pelicans could be a good team in the West, man. Could be something to look out for, man. I think they can be. But I don't know. It's gonna be up to Damian Lillard, man. I gotta look more into this situation that's going on in Portland in regards to people being upset, the fan base upset with the hire of Chauncey Billups because of his past back in 1997 rape allegations. It's just baffling to me, man. You know, but I gotta look more into that, man, with Chauncey Billups, man. But hopefully the Pelicans can make the right decision, man. And then I think if Lillard goes to the Pelicans compared then over the Lakers, the Knicks, Celtics, Clippers, Warriors. No, well, he ain't gonna go to State, but you know, I think it'd be great for the league. It'd be great for the league that shows that small market team can fill that type of roster, have those type of weapons on the team. It can make a deep run of the postseason, you know. But other than that, man, we just gotta see right now. You gotta follow the breadcrumbs, connect the dot, look more into it. You just see how everything plays out. I didn't get that tweet until like a few hours ago. That tweet came out like around early in the around the evening time. I got it late at night on my timeline because I just wasn't on Twitter all day. I wasn't on Twitter, you know, early in the day. So we just got to see how it goes, man, and let the situation play out. Follow the breadcrumbs, connect the dots, and we're going to see where Damian Lillard ends up. It's going to be up to him, you know, where he wants to go, you know. But anyways, man, I don't want to hold you up anymore. That's all I have for y'all for right now. Give me if you listen to this on YouTube, Spreaker, Anchor, give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, give me a follow the podcast, add to your playlist, let me know how you feel about the topics discussed on today's podcast. Also, check out strike7sports.com for latest content on the NFL, the NBA, and much more. Also, just check out our sponsors, our affiliate sponsors, strike7sports.com/fanatics. If you type it at a link into your browser, wherever you may be, whatever browser you use, you're going to be taken redirected to Fanatics, and you make any purchase through there, any apparel, anything I'll get credit for that goes into building this the Strike 7 Sports platform into what it is and what we're going to be going forward. Have a blessed day. Peace. I'm out. Who that?